All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning. Good morning to you and happy Monday. It is Monday, March 8th, 2021. This morning, we're going to talk about how to crush it on stage and what exactly does being on stage mean? Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you. Happy Monday. Good to be here with you guys this morning. I wanted to dig into a topic that is kind of relevant for this week. I got a lot of stuff going on this week that requires me to be in front of some people. So I thought, man, it might be a great time to talk about, what characteristics make up a great presentation by someone that's kind of out in front of people, And so this week I've got the World of Asphalt Conference. So that's a pre-recorded presentation that I did just a few weeks ago here. And that'll be broadcast on Wednesday. And then I'll be doing some Q&A after that. And then I'll be in Miami this weekend speaking at the Blue Collar American Dream Conference in front of, several hundred people. So I thought maybe it would be a good time to dig into that topic. And I wanted to start this out here by just saying that, being on stage has a variety of definitions. And I think that for many of us, we are on a lot more stages than we probably realize. We're on stage as parents. We're on stage as leaders. We're even on stage when we're interacting at work with other people many times. And, so the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we actually realize how often we're on stage? And do we realize, kind of how we're performing or how we're interacting with people and what level we are rising to in order to keep people's attention and really make the greatest impact on those people around us. So I want to dig into that this morning. I've got some tips for you guys on exactly how I try to prepare myself to crush it on stage, to give people the best experience that they possibly can. But before we dig into that information, as always, I want to say good morning to some folks. Chris Filippelli, congratulations. My man just got engaged in Disney this weekend. So congratulations to you, man. So proud of you, dude. He's doing so many big things in his life. Jared Bird, good morning to you. Tammy Clark, Todd, good morning. Chris Whitehead, what's happening, man? Good to see you here, brother. Dean, good morning. Rodney, Trudy, John Rugg, Bruce Pulver, my man, always on stage, Bruce Pulver. Good morning to you. TEDx speaker there, Bruce Pulver. Ken Walls up and at him early this morning. Good morning to you. Rick and Sanjay, good morning to you guys, and thank you guys for being here. So, what characteristics actually make up a good stage presence and a good presentation? And again, many of these things, I want you guys to keep in mind, like these things are the same things that are going to make you effective just interacting with people, right? Or being on stage with your children or being on stage as a leader. So I'm going to go through a list of things here that I kind of try to remind myself as I'm preparing for each of the presentations that I do, just to, go through this list and make sure that each of the things that I'm speaking on and the presentations that I'm giving contain a lot of these things. Some of this is training, right? It starts to become natural to you as you do it over and over and over again. All right, so here's number one. Be yourself. Don't be too polished or too practiced. Authenticity is key. So, you want to make sure that you are being yourself. You're not really you shouldn't have to take too much time to practice this stuff. Preparation is key, but don't be too practiced in your words, right? Be authentic, be in the moment. I don't prepare a ton for the actual presentation. I might take a lot of time to make sure that the information is correct, but the actual presentation itself is pretty free flowing. It's pretty authentic. I don't rehearse everything that I'm going to say. And I think that makes for a great presentation and a great way that you can just authentically connect with other people. Number two, know your topic. Never, ever, ever agree to speak on something that you are not an expert at. This is how some people get in trouble, to be honest with you, is that they agree to do things. They agree to speak on things just to get opportunities that they are not necessarily an expert at. And that can lead you into very difficult situations, right? Uncharted territory is a bad place to be, especially in front of hundreds of people, right? You want to make sure that whatever topic you are speaking on and educating people about, that you are an absolute expert at it, so that it comes naturally, right? You'll never get tripped up on your words or your thoughts if you're talking on a topic that you are just an expert at. You have thousands of hours of experience in. So know your topic and never agree to speak on something that you're not actually an expert at. And this goes again for interactions, maybe at work. Don't add value into conversations, or don't attempt to add value into conversations unless you're an expert, unless you actually know for sure that you can add value to it. Number 3, have clarity in your message. What is the point, and why should the audience care? This is something that when I'm preparing to write a presentation, when I'm preparing to deliver information, that's the question I ask myself over and over and over again is, why should these people care, right? Continue to revisit that idea of, so what? Why should they care? If you can answer that question to yourself and in the eyes of the audience, then you're going to have a great presentation. It's going to connect with them. They're going to understand the material that you're delivering and why they should care, right? So have clarity in your message and make sure you're consistently asking yourself why the audience should care, what you're delivering. Next one, number 4, be a great storyteller. Great storytelling always keeps people's attention and always helps get the point across, right? So what I always try to do is integrate a story of, before I am speaking on something, a great example, a great success story of how this exact topic happened in my life. So that number 1, I become relatable. I become an authority to them because I have actually lived this. This isn't something that I'm teaching that I read in a book, but it's something I can give them an exact example. The bigger example you can give, so the more success. I had an example where I went into a gas station and I bought a Red Bull, and that Red Bull ended up turning into a multi-million-dollar deal. So I tell that story at the beginning of one of my presentations. So when you start talking about just an exact story that happened in your life, people can relate to that. They get excited to hear, okay, that's what happened. How did it happen? What are the methods that he used to be able to accomplish that, right? It's not, you didn't just randomly walk in to buy a drink and end up getting a multi-million-dollar contract, but it grabs people's attention. So it allows them to walk through that story with you in real time. And as you tell the story, they can tie it back to the result that they already heard in the beginning of that presentation. Next one, be aware of your audience. Who is it that you're actually speaking to? If you understand the level of experience in the audience or in the group that you are speaking to, then you're able to connect with them on a much deeper level, right? If you are speaking on a topic and you're speaking at too high of a level or too low of a level, you're going to lose the attention of those people. So it gets really difficult to connect with them. If you're speaking to experts and you're speaking at an elementary level, that's of course never going to work. And so you're going to have a hard time keeping the attention of the audience. So understanding exactly the level of experience and speaking to that level and trying to mold your presentation to a variety of people, if there's a variety of levels of experience in the audience, or speaking to that exact level of experience. This weekend, I'm going to be speaking to probably a variety of different people. Probably a lot of people in that audience have a high level of expertise. So those that don't have a high level of expertise, I have to kind of present it in a way that I can keep the attention of those who've been in the business for a long time, while still being able to take a couple of minutes to explain it at a much more basic level and remind those people of how to get to that level of expertise. Hopefully that makes sense. Get to the point is the next thing on the list. Get to the point. How many of you guys have ever sat in a crowd in front of a person delivering a speech, and you're sitting there thinking, what is the point? Like, where is he or she going with all of this? Land the plane. If you speak too long on one specific topic just to fill time, this is something that can happen, right? So a lot of people try to divide up their presentations or conversations into very specific time frames of how they're going to talk about each thing, and they get a little bit too structured. And so what happens is you're trying to fill time on a topic that isn't going to keep the attention of the audience. You're not really paying attention to the vibe that you're getting from the audience, and you end up losing them because you're trying to stay on one topic just to fill a specific allotted amount of time. And so that doesn't work either. You kind of have to be paying attention to what's going on out there. You know, are people engaged? Do they want to hear more about this particular topic, or are they ready for you to move on? Is it not connecting at all, and you need to move on a little bit quicker to the next topic? It's an easy way. If you do not get to the point and you do not reinforce your points, you tend to lose your audience quickly. The last but not least, include the audience. If you are up there just giving a presentation off of a PowerPoint with 32 bullet points on each individual slide, and you're not constantly checking with the audience to maintain their attention, forget about it, man. You're going to lose them quickly, right? That's another great tip, is do not have a lot of bullet points on your slides. You want them paying attention to you, not the screen. You want them to reference the screen for a quick point of reference for people that might be walking into the room or need to look up. They got something that interrupted them. They look back up. They can tell what you're talking about. That's all you want to have on the screen. You do not want to have a million notes and bullet points on the screen that you need to talk about, because that confuses people and it's not very interesting. That you want them paying attention to you as the speaker. So include the audience, ask for validation, ask questions, get them involved as much as you can, and you will find them much more engaged, and the information that you're delivering will come across much more personal to them. So again, just to run through the list here, be yourself, never be too polished or too practiced. Authenticity is a major, major key to being able to connect with an audience, or to be able to connect with anybody, right? If you're speaking to your children, you want to be authentic. You want to be yourself. It's how you get them to pay attention. Know your topic. Never agree to speak on something that you are not an absolute expert at. Be very clear in your message. What is the point, and why should the audience care? Be a great storyteller. Great storytelling always keeps people's attention and helps get your point across in a much more impactful way. Be aware and know your audience. Who are you actually speaking to? And be able to tailor that information to the audience that you're speaking to. Get to the point. Never speak too long on one topic. And last but not least, include the audience. So that is what I have for today on how to crush it on stage. For those of you who might be attending the World of Asphalt online conference this week, I look forward to interacting with you guys and answering some questions after my presentation there. That presentation is titled Culture is King. It is extremely, it's full of a ton of information that I have lived with regard to building cultures in business, that I have personally used to build cultures in my own business, but also observations of what I've seen in coaching dozens of other businesses as well. So that's a knowledge-packed presentation that's about 45 minutes, and then there's 15 minutes of Q&A. And then the Blue Collar American Dream Conference, for those of you who will be in Miami this weekend, I look forward to seeing you guys and sharing as much knowledge as we possibly can with each other over the weekend in the sunshine in Miami. So that's it for this morning, guys. I hope this message was beneficial to you. If it was, please share this out. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast platforms and over on YouTube. If you guys haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, there is some content that is coming to YouTube that you will not find on any other platform. So make sure that you do that as well. And I appreciate you guys, as always, being here. Happy Monday to all of you guys. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.